Do not turn on the TV. Do not answer any social media. Do not answer your emails. Don't even answer your physical mail. Just walk around the house, maybe step outside, eat a sandwich, take in some fresh air. But television, computer, anything digital will be a distraction. And a lot of times this distraction can go past 10 minutes or 15 minutes and you mess around and don't even get back on the drums and finish the second half of what you're doing. So stay focused. In between your break time, stay focused. Do not stray and start watching TV and social media because I've done that before and it completely ruined my practice time.
Your favorite drummer, all the way from Chicago, Illinois, Mr. Andrew Blaze Thomas.
Okay, you are here again with your favorite drummer and Blues Music Award winner, Andrew Blaze Thomas. And today, I'm back with another great lesson that concerns time. That's right. Today, we are going to be discussing time management. Now, this is going to be a 3-part series video. But before we get into it, I'm going to ask you, take this time, press the subscribe button, press the like button, and right now we're going to go and get off into this lesson. I have a disclaimer when it comes to new drummers and practice time. When you are new on the drums and you just starting out, think about practice time like this. It's just like when a new person goes to the gym and they've never worked out before. They're not as big and as strong as the really big buff guys in the gym. They're just starting out. So when you just start working out, you lift light weights and then slowly over time, you work your way up to the big heavy weights. Well, it's the same thing with drumming. I tell my students, don't worry about practicing 4 hours a day and 8 hours a day when you're just starting out. Just try to practice for 30 minutes at a time, consistently, daily. If you practice, focused practice for 30 minutes a day, you will get immediate results. When I first started playing drums, I've always had the question in my head, how long should I practice? What constitutes a good practice session? How long should the practice session last? The way I practice at least 90 minutes a day. Let me tell you why. When I headline a music festival, which is the biggest gigs that I normally get, headlining a big festival, and there's thousands of people in the crowd, that slot is only 90 minutes long. So I like to be prepared enough that I know that my muscles, my posture, my breathing, my dexterity, all is in check for a 90-minute show. That's the least amount of time of practice. Now, when I know that I'm getting ready for a big tour, I want to practice longer than that. I would like to practice 2.5 hours. The first 90 minutes is my normal 90 minutes of practice, and then the second half of the practice, an hour a day, is dedicated to the songs that I'm going to play on the set. Just the songs. The first 90 minutes of practice is my technical workout. Technical ability means your paradiddles, your single strokes, your flams, your footwork, just technically hitting the drums. I also encourage drummers to practice heel up techniques, heel down techniques, and molar techniques during this practice. And above all, do all of it to a metronome. Trust me, a metronome is needed, it's valuable. It'll get you a lot more gigs. You killing 2 birds with 1 stone when you practice with a metronome. You're working on your immediate time for playing live, and you're working on recording in the studio. Metronomes are key to keeping great time. There's a book by Robert Greene called Mastery, and Robert Greene says that you must have 10,000 hours of focused practice on your instrument to master something. That's about 10 years of focused practice. So if you've been playing your drum set as a profession, as a living pro drummer for over 10 years, going into your 20th year, 2 decades of drumming, you might not need to practice as often and as long as a person first starting out, let's say within their first 5 years. Those drummers you definitely want to spend long hours of playing because your muscle memory have not developed yet. Now that we've discussed how long you should practice, let's get into the way you should practice and governing the time in your practice. When you first sit down to practice, don't make the mistake of just picking up the sticks and starting to jam. Don't do that. Make a practice log. A practice log will always ensure that you know what to practice and you have goals that you are working on. You want to make a practice log every time you practice. Before you play a note, sit down, write down the date and the time that you start in your practice. So you know that you're executing your full 90 minutes or your full 2.5 hours or your full 4 hours or 6 hours, or however long you feel the need to practice. Once you write down the date and the time, the first 10 minutes of my practice, I allot to just jamming, having fun on the drums. I play any groove I want to play, or sometimes I don't even play a groove at all. I might just play an imaginary drum solo. It doesn't matter, because the first 10 minutes I'm just warming up, getting into the groove of things. And this should be your fun time of playing. Just be a kid on the drums again. Just enjoy the sound of the drums. After your first 10 minutes of practicing, you're all warmed up. Now it's time to get down to business. This should be in increments of 20 minutes, whatever you're practicing. If you're a heavy metal, speed metal player and you're working on your double bass technique, whatever techniques you're working on, work on them for 20-minute increments. And this is why I say 20 minutes and not 10 or 15 or anything less than that. At least 20-minute increments. It takes me 10 minutes to get a pattern correct and another 10 minutes of playing that pattern correctly before my brain starts to develop muscle memory. I've tried this over and over again. This is the best system that works for me. So I always tell my students to do the same. So for example, you have your practice log, you want to write down warm up, 10 minutes. Play whatever you want, just have fun on the drums. After that, let's say you're working on your molar technique and you really want to get your molar down good. You're going to write down molar technique, 20 minutes. Put the metronome on slow. Start slow. Anything you want to do that you don't know how to do, start slow. And true practice is working on things that you can't do. So you're not practicing if you're just playing licks and grooves and paradiddles and all this stuff that you already know. True practice starts with playing things that you don't know. That's how you get better. So let's go over this again. First 10 minutes, warm up. Write that down. The second section of your practice, a 20-minute increment of something new that you have to play slow in a warm-up fashion. So if it's the molar technique, slow it down to 50 minutes, 50 beats per minute. Start in that range and then work your way up during the course of the 20 minutes. Or if you're completely new to the exercise, don't change the metronome time at all. If it's your first day doing this project or this new exercise, play the same time for 20 minutes. So let's say it's the molar. Boom, you got 20 minutes of that. Then you want to move on to something else after that 20 minutes. Let's say you want to work on your backbeat quarter note grooves. Fine, work on that for 20 minutes. Work on it slow if you never played them before. If you do play them and you know what you're doing and it's just something that you want to brush up on, start slow, mid-tempo, then work your way up during the course of the exercise. Maybe every 2 or 3 minutes, you can speed up the tempo of what you're working on by 2 or 3 beats per minute. So now that you know that you want to definitely do everything at least 20 minutes at a time until your 90 minutes of practice is all the way built up, now we're going to discuss the second half of practice. The second half of your practice should be covering the songs that you have to play live. For example, if you know you have a gig Friday night and it's Wednesday evening, you want to start practicing those songs you got to play Friday night. Hopefully you got the set list, hopefully you got the music already sent to you. Work on those songs. Just play them over and over and over again. If you know it's a big gig and you know that it should take more than 60 minutes of practice to work on these songs to keep the gig, work on it much longer than 60 minutes. So, the 2.5 hours of practice of my daily practice, 90 minutes of technical ability, I like to take a 10-minute break and then into my 60 minutes of practice. That's daily practice. Now, let's talk about the break time. Do not turn on the TV. Do not answer any social media. Do not answer your emails. Don't even answer your physical mail. Just walk around the house, maybe step outside, eat a sandwich, take in some fresh air. But television, computer, anything digital will be a distraction. And a lot of times this distraction can go past 10 minutes or 15 minutes and you mess around and don't even get back on the drums and finish the second half of what you're doing. So stay focused. In between your break time, stay focused. Do not stray and start watching TV and social media, because I've done that before and it completely ruined my practice time. Another component of practicing is practicing at the same time every day. This is key. It lets your mind know that it's time to practice. You just feel it. It's just like if an athlete goes to the gym every day at 4 o'clock. Around 3:30, you just know to get your stuff together. You get your gym bag, and you know that you're going to work out and get your practice on. The same way with drumming. It's practicing the same time every day lets you know mentally it's time to get ready. More importantly, now this is the biggest thing with practicing the same time every day. If you have roommates or a partner, if you are married, have a family, practice the same time every day. This is key so your partner knows to respect your practice time. Your children know to respect your practice time. Let's say you practice on Monday at 4 o'clock. Then let's say Tuesday you don't practice at 8:30. Wednesday you might practice at 5 o'clock. Let's say Thursday you go ready to practice at 2 o'clock, and then your significant other says, honey, can you please go to the store? If you practice at the same time every day, the people around you know to respect your time, and they won't ask you at 4 o'clock if that's your time to practice, because they know at 4 o'clock, don't bother daddy, don't bother mommy, she's busy, he's busy, let him work. And then after your practice time, they may ask you whatever they need from you. Today's lecture is derived from my new book, You Got the Gig, Here's How to Keep It. And if you look at chapter 3, is the rules of time. And that's where the basics of today's lecture is from. You got the gig, here's how to keep it, a working musician's model for success. You can find this book on Amazon.com, Barnes & Nobles. It's in print format, also available in the e-format. So please be on the lookout. It's out now. You got the gig, here's how to keep it. I talk about negotiations, salary, how much money can you earn on the gig, you know, those kind of things, the importance of paying taxes, child support, how to travel in buses, vans, tour buses, airplanes, how to pack for a tour, how to practice for a tour. All those things are included in this book. So I hope you've enjoyed today's lesson from your favorite drummer, songwriter, author of the book, You've Got the Gig, Here's How to Keep It, a working musician's model for success, and Blues Music Award winner, Andrew Blaze Thomas. Till next time.